share an email with Rashid, who signed the statement, who has first-hand knowledge of these problems not only here but elsewhere. I intend to follow up by getting to know him. I intend to be in Burlington High School as often as I can be next year. Join Superintendent Collins, who I hope will be in Burlington High School often next year, and the middle schoolers. Yes, the force of your question is a good one. If we're to be welcoming, we need to be in touch. And I think the bishops spoke to our failure to follow through on that. The intention is there.
Thank you for the challenge that comes with that question. I think for me personally, this has been yet another wake-up call. There have been many in my life around this particular issue. Our diocese, Episcopal Church, has had its most direct connection with the Sudanese refugees who have been part of our life in Vermont. I've come to know many of them personally. Many of them have participated in our churches and in our life together. So that's been a very refreshing and rewarding experience for us. And I've listened to their stories of having to experience the kind of racial harassment that our students in the high school today are expressing. With some of the other refugee communities, I've not had that same experience, but I would love to have that and would welcome that. And I think perhaps the Vermont Ecumenical Council and Bible Society might be a place where that kind of a forum can be assisted. And I'm not speaking for Roy, but I'm a trustee of the Vermont Ecumenical Council as well. And I think that this is a place where we can lend our heart and our voice and our ears to the problem. So thank you. I really appreciate the challenge that's in that question.
I just want to add that we at Ohio Senate provide free space for English learning programs 4 days a week for refugees. We've done that for a number of years. We've had two powerful events around Passover time where we've adapted the Seder, which is a celebration of freedom, to reflect the experience of refugees. They have told their stories. Our members have shared in those Seders and heard the pain, and the work goes on.
As the president of the Vermont Ecumenical Council, Bible Society, I'll just add three quick points. One, that is a topic for our agenda for our next couple of meetings. Secondly, whereas there may not be a uniform approach, there are individual churches, assemblies, who are stepping up and or beginning to step up to the plate. For example, our brothers and sisters at the CBC, or Community Bible Church, where they reach out very deliberately. Secondly, First Church, which is First Church Congregational around the corner here, was very active under the late Reverend Dr. Bob Lee. The church is undergoing transition now as it is just beginning to call a new pastor. But they lift that concern, rightfully spoken. They lift that up as one of their priorities. But it is a work in process, given the fact that across the board, demographics in Burlington are changing. Just as in our high school, where 30% of the students are students of color. And secondly, you look at the world order, where 80% of the people who populate planet Earth are people of color. So in terms of carrying our students and embracing others, welcoming perspective, we are a project in progress.
My name is Diane Nanscavell, and I'm a priest at St. Paul's Cathedral. And for 2 years, we held English as a second language classes for the Bhutanese refugees. and we did it all on a volunteer basis. We included supper, and that was a really wonderful experience, both for us and I believe for the detainees as well.
I have two quick questions. First, for Rabbi Chasen, I was wondering if, since you had called everybody here a person of goodwill involved in the struggle, if you would be willing to rescind your comments at the May 8th school board meeting calling the parents and students and concerned community members who spoke out bullies, which appeared in the Free Press. Because while we might not agree on the superintendent's tenure, I think that it really made people who stepped forward and have been involved very hurt to hear that comment. And my second question is that aren't you concerned that after a 7-year tenure, and even with the release of the task force report, it is not until Jeannie Collins' job has been on the line that she has adopted this newfound concern for the community of color. And I would also like to add that the statement she released looks like many of the ideas that were in the task force report were copied and pasted into it. So I would just like you to comment.
Let's take the second one first.
Okay.
Limitation is the highest form of flattery. No doubt about it. A lot of the work that Vince and others on the Task Force for Life put into that report is in Gene Collins' report. Why not? That was the blueprint for the strategic plan that was going to be, hopefully will be unveiled next October. Here's a chance to move that up 6 months because we're being told that we can't wait for 6 months. So, I would say that about the language. As far as your commitment, I've worked with superintendents before Gene Collins. The doors were